once they can catch up. Okay, so good afternoon to everyone. So this is our first class in the Pathways to Judaism, or Path to Judaism, or whatever fancy title we came up with. This is a class that will help you learn more about Judaism and learn more about how to learn more about Judaism. Because learning about Judaism is not something you do in just a few weeks, a few years. It's something you do in a lifetime. And that's one of the things we're going to start off with, which is talking about some of the resources that are easily available. And then we're going to use the next part of the class this evening to look into some of our principles of belief, the foundations of what do Jews believe. You know, we have this thing called Judaism. What do we actually believe in that? And we're not going to look at everything, but we're going to look at some of the main principles. So everyone should have received a handout. I hope we have the extras there. And we got our first page here. So we happen to be living in a silicon age of Judaism and Jewish learning, which means there is more Jewish information available than at any other point in Jewish history. And it is available more easily and more cheaply than at any other point in Jewish history. Even 500 years ago, if you wanted to have a Jewish library, you would be lucky to have one bookshelf. That would be a rich man's library. Maybe we'd have one book, maybe two books if we were lucky, but a whole shelf like that, impossible for most people. And a room like this would be the library of a yeshiva, of an academy. The amount that you can have is unbelievable because the internet has put much into our hands. So at the very top of the page, you'll see that there's a list of online resources. Short list. There are many, many other resources available, but I wanted to start off with just a short list of things that you can easily find that will give you lots of information. A website called Seminario.org. Org has been around now for, I guess, about 2 years, and they have been taking Jewish texts of all types and putting them online and making them easy to read, cross-indexing them. So if you're reading a verse in the Torah, you can click and it will tell you where they talk about that in the Talmud, or it'll tell you where they talk about that in the Midrash, or tell you where they talk about that in Halakha, in Jewish law. It's got a great cross-index system, which is one of the things the internet's good for. Been also working on translating many, many texts that it's hard to find translations for. And so not everything is translated. A lot of it is still only in Hebrew, but a lot of it, especially the main books, are already translated. So Sefaria.org should be your friend. And as a matter of fact, when you go onto it, if you just click at the top, it will tell you what the current Torah portion is and what the current Haftorah is, and we'll talk about what those are in more detail in a bit. And then you can click and it will open it up right there for you. So it's a very, very convenient and helpful site. What cycle we are, where we're reading in the Torah this week, and you want to keep up with it. Second site, hebcal.com, or is it org? Actually, I need to double check that one. Hebcal, that'll get you there. It's short for Hebrew calendar. This is a site that does one thing, but it does one thing really, really well, which is make it clear what the Hebrew calendar is, what the Jewish calendar is, so that you can find when is the holiday going to happen next, right? When is Purim next year? Because we all know that Purim is on the 14th of Adar. Hebrew date, what is that in the secular date? What day is, every year it changes. And we'll talk later, not tonight, but about why the Jewish calendar and the secular calendar keep moving in a dance. Hebcal, couple clicks, you've got your answer. In fact, it'll tell you what day Purim is for the next 10 years if you want to know. Very, very helpful. It'll tell you what the Torah readings are. It'll tell you what holidays are happening for both the old holidays from the Bible and well as the new holidays that are modern. So very, very useful website. It will also help you convert the dates. If you were interested in saying, I wonder what was the Hebrew date on the day I was born. And then one click and you'll know what your Hebrew birthday is. It's just a really, really good site, does one thing. The next three sites, oops, I forgot to highlight one of them. The Ziegler School of Rabbinic Studies, Theological Seminary, and the Seminario Rabbinico Latinamericano are the three main seminaries that are part of the conservative movement. This is where rabbis get trained. And they are very generous that they share many of their resources online. So if you go to any one of these three, you can find lessons and lectures and resources and articles that have been written by all of the teachers and rabbis from these different seminaries. There is also another one in Israel called Machon Shechter, but courses are only in Hebrew. So if your Hebrew is not ready yet, then save that one for later. They have some things in English, but not a whole lot. My Jewish Learning and Judaism 101, the next two websites on listing, are great places to go if you just want a quick little summary of a topic. They have articles that have been written by good people who know the material well and who write it not like a professor, but who write it like they're trying to explain to regular people. So they are very good. Just pull. Yeah, it's a heavy door. Welcome. Come on in. Don't be shy. We got plenty of room over here. Just make sure, yeah, we shut the door so we can have some air conditioning. And there's a sign-in sheet and also some handouts. So those two websites are very good for getting a good basic bit of information, answering a quick question that you might have about a particular topic. And then everybody's favorite website, Wikipedia. Wikipedia gets a lot of sometimes, but Wikipedia is actually pretty good, at least as far as Judaism goes. The articles on Wikipedia, they don't tell you everything. They're not, 100% all the information you ever need. But as a starting place, as a quick summary, especially for the history side, they do a pretty good job of getting you up to speed on some of the main Jewish things. So don't be afraid of Wikipedia. Okay, there is one more site on here that is special because I know that many of our people here tonight are Spanish speaking first. That's their primary language. And if you've been to our Latino Shabbat, you know that we use a Spanish Hebrew Siddur that's been printed out that we have copies of. To get a copy for yourself, Kol Tuv is the website where that Siddur lives. And I put in the PDF of the exact Siddur that we use for Shabbat. That's the www.koltuvsfarad.com Siddur Shabbat Ashkenaz.pdf. That's the one that we have over for our Latino Shabbat, which I believe is this Shabbat again. So if you're interested in Latino Shabbat, make sure you come this Shabbat, this Saturday morning. More people coming. Oh dear. Well, thank you for ushering them in. Let me see about making a little extra room. We can pull up an extra chair there, an extra chair there. We've got a couple chairs here. Usually, we're going to be meeting in the social hall. But right now, we had a problem with our floor, and so the whole social hall floor is ripped up. So we're going to have to meet in here for a while. And that means we're going to squeeze in. We'll squeeze in. We should have plenty of room for everybody. Chair there with the armrests. Someone can sit at the desk if they want. Oh, we have another empty one here. So we should always have the problem of having too many people.
She's already Jewish.
Well, that's okay. She's still learning. That's fine. Okay, so if you go to this website, Kol Tuv, Spanish speaking, you'll find they have other Siddurim there as well, other prayer books as well. So you can get a weekday Spanish Hebrew Siddur as well. If you're interested, there's sections for Rosh Chodesh and other things. So it's a good resource if you're looking for those materials. So far, any questions on that? Please, yes. Middle section, books. Does everybody remember what books look like? Right? It's not all about a computer. It's not all about the phones. There are these things called books, and these are important. Like I said at the very, very beginning, we're very lucky now. We can have lots and lots of books. In the old days, it wasn't easy, but now we can. And there is something special about a book. There is something that is very physical and allows you to feel very close to what you are studying. That's different than when you're reading from a screen. So I will recommend that you get some books. You don't have to get every book I recommend, but you should get some books. And there's a few that you really kind of want to have because they're easier to use. You can look things up, and you know they're always sitting on the shelf, and you don't have to worry about what the website is. So one book that you're going to need to get is a Tanakh. Tanakh, word for the Bible. Tanakh is an acronym. And it stands for Torah, which is the first 5 books. Nevi'im, which is the prophets. Joshua, going through Malachi, and then Ketuvim, which are the writings, which have from the book of Psalms all the way through the end of Chronicles. So the Hebrew Bible is organized by the type of material and then by chronology, which is a little different than the way I know some other Bibles have their order. So you're going to want to get a Tanakh, a Hebrew Bible. Doesn't have to be in Hebrew. You can get lots of good Jewish Bibles in English and Spanish, Russian, French, every language. Those are not hard to find. Perfect. So getting a Tanakh is job number 1, because what is the foundation of being Jewish? It's knowing what God has shared with us so that we know how to live. And the Tanakh is book number 1 for the record of what God has shared with us. So you will also see, you can get one for yourself, or you can just use, when we're here, something that looks like this. This is called the Eitz Chaim Chumash. Now, a Chumash is a little different. The Chumash, that's a really bad thing. Hold on a second. Let's try that again. I'm not an artist. All right, the Chumash has the Torah, all the sections that we read each week in the synagogue, plus it has pieces, just pieces from the prophets, what we call the Haf. If you're reading more than one, Haftarot. And my apologies for my bad handwriting. And the Haftarah are the sections from the prophets that we read each week. And the Chumash puts them together very easily. If you're using the Tanakh, a lot to find them. If you're using the Chumash, it's all together. Or you can go to Sefaria and one click, and you've got it. Okay, so a Chumash is a good thing to have. Another thing that you need to have is a Siddur. We're going to talk a lot more about prayers in later weeks, and why we have a prayer book rather than just praying whatever we think. But trust me, having a prayer book is very, very important in Judaism. However, there are lots of different Siddurim, lots of different prayer books. So you have a couple options. You can get a prayer book that has everything in it. That is to say, prayers for the regular days of the week, prayers for Shabbat, and prayers for festivals, all in one book. For example, Siddur Sim Shalom. This is a all-together prayer book in the conservative movement, and you can get the pocket edition. Now, this doesn't fit in my pocket, but this is the pocket edition. Now, the nice thing about these, and these are, excuse me, these are the same book, it's just printed differently. the nice thing about these is it's got everything that you're going to want. Prayers for each day, prayers for Shabbat, prayers for holiday. It's all in one book. It's hard to find your way because it's got everything in it. And also, it doesn't have a lot of room for extra information. This book, which is the Siddur that we use in our sanctuary on a regular Shabbat, is called Lev Shalem. And this Siddur, and I'll pass this around, has a lot of extra commentary and explanation around each prayer. A helpful boost for understanding why we are praying this way, why we use these words, and what the meaning of the prayer is. But of course, all the extra information takes extra space. So this prayer book only has the prayers for, so you have to try and choose which prayer books you need. So let's go ahead and send a few around so people can look at them.